Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So my name is Muhammad Faisal. I'm the chief examiner at Nafi. Today we have with us Muhammad Faisal Ziauddin. I mean, my name is Muhammad Faisal as well, but the student name is also Muhammad Faisal. So Ziauddin has a long name. So to make things easier, I'm going to call him Zia. Okay, just for it's going to be, if I'm saying Muhammad Faisal, what is the answer of this? It will sound odd, like I'm calling my name, right? Just to make things easier, inshallah. Today the date is 15th of today the date is November 12th. The time is 10:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The topic we have is for EduQual Level 6, RQF Level 6, Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations. The topic is implementing advanced threat intelligence platform with OSINT, automation, attribution analysis, and predictive threat modeling for cybersecurity operations. There are multiple objectives. This topic is for cybersecurity operations. We have implemented something similar internally within the company, but not for cybersecurity, but essentially it's something that I will explain. We are already developing our own LLM as well, right? Large learning model. Just like there's OpenAI, there is Claude, there's Gemini. We are developing our own solution known as Albari, right? Project Albari, the solution is Bari. So for that, we have created an OSINT power web crawler that crawls the internet to look for information, right? And it essentially is collecting information like email addresses, content, all of those things to learn and advance itself. It is utilizing OSINT framework. It is utilizing some of the open source, and 100% it is based on open source. It's similar to what we are doing. Your context is cybersecurity. Our context is data collection, analysis, and we are also doing attribution and profiling with respect to the customer, so on and so forth, right? So the key learning objectives are OSINT automation and data collection, advanced threat actor attribution and profiling, predictive threat modeling and forecasting, intelligence analysis and enrichment, integration with SIEM, with security operations, and compliance and intelligence governance, right? All of these tools are based on open source. So you have to show me how to use these different components, right, to make these things work, right? The presentation is going to be minimum 15, maximum up to 20, 25 minutes, followed by an interview that can last from 30 to 40 minutes. Are you ready, Zia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you share your screen, please? When I tell you to start, then you may start, inshallah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You may start now.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Faisal Ziauddin, and today I am representing my final exam topic of EduQual Level 6. And my topic is, as sir told, implementing advanced threat intelligence platform for cybersecurity operations that can do OSINT automation, attribution analysis, and predictive threat modeling. We'll see our outline, our agenda today. First of all, we talk little bit about threat intelligence. It's a very minor introduction, and then we jump straight into our platform, what it is, what its architecture is. Then we will go its layers, as we will see that it has multiple layers, and then we will go layer by layer. First, layer 1, collection and ingestion, then layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, and then we will conclude our presentation. So what is threat intelligence? Threat intelligence is basically, as the name suggests, we can understand it by analogy of military, like there's a specific department in military that's intelligence, and what its purpose is, it goes into other countries and see what their defense architecture is, what its defense tactics are, and how they can offend their own country. So what they do is they basically reconnaissance all the structure, their offensive defense techniques, and then inform their officials that this is what this country look like and this is what they can attack with. So you can understand threat intelligence like that. So what we are doing is we are searching for specific data, specific information uh, that could be very harmful for organization, for different organization, which are using our threat intelligence platform. So our platform will tell them this can happen, so they can prepare first. So there is a distinction between a military and specific intelligence agencies that are inside that military. So similarly, threat intelligence and incident respondent, they are incident response. They are two basically different fields. Incident response comes when incident happen, and threat intelligence is basically proactive defense. It tells you what can happen in so that you can preemptively ready for it. So it is a continuous process of collecting and analyzing the data about possible cyber attacks. And why it is important? It is important because if we do not implement it, obviously, why cybersecurity is important. It's important because uh, any organization can be more vulnerable to cyber attacks. It can damage their financial reputation. It can damage their reputation. It can damage them financially. So there are different examples like solar wind incident, Move It 2023, and these are all the incidents that significantly impact the organization due to the lack of this threat intelligence model or not implementing it. What are its impact? Obviously, when we implement threat intelligence, our SOC team will detect threats faster, and it helps them respond accordingly, and their response will be more meaningful, more relevant. And we will have minimum false positive and noise, and our risk management posture. This will also improve. And basically, we have a more greater visibility and control over our whole threat model, or you can say threat spectrum of that this whole field. That what are our possible vulnerabilities and what are the areas that we should work upon. The threat intelligence life cycle, it's basically what you can call it. Threat intelligence is not, you cannot say that this threat intelligence for any specific for all the organization. So there is no like one time you develop this model and you can say that this will be used for all the organization. It depends on the goals. It depends on the motives of that organization. If, for example, if it's financial organization, then its priorities will be different. If it's any defense or military based organization, then it will have different vision, different kind of, it needs different kind of threat intelligence needed. Similarly, if any digital e-commerce based business, then it has its own priorities. So threat intelligence will be based on specific vision and direction. So then we can, because there is a lot of noise, and we do not want to just collect everything and just focus on and not just focus on all the things, because we want the data to be relevant. So threat intelligence basically use a generic, but its life cycle is the one that it uses for all the models. It depends on what organization is, the life cycle will be the same. So it comes from planning and direction, in which we, just like I described, we plan and we direct that this kind of threat intelligence we want. Then we collect the data that is relevant to our niche or our organization needs. Then we analysis it, enrich it. This analysis and production is basically we are enriching whatever we collected. And then obviously the most important thing is dissemination, where we are sharing our information, and based on that we are providing feedback. And based on that feedback, we will be improving our model. So that's basically the whole threat life cycle is. Now let's jump into our proposed system, threat intelligence, advanced threat intelligence platform. In short, we can call it ATIP.
Can I stop you for a minute?
Yes, sir.
During your submission, you also submitted uh, a complete document, right?
Yes, sir.
Implementing advanced threat intelligence platform with awesome automation.
Yes, that's basically my effort to write a research paper, because I want to do
It's
a
very
little
good.
bit.
It's very good.
Yes,
Actually, I'm going to make that as a new standard, right? To make
yes,
sure that everyone does that, because we are improving our standards and going up, right? So it's a complete topic, layer by layer. You have mentioned the literature review, the
yes,
methodology, analysis and evaluation, discussions, conclusion, and you're also reference Harvard style with URL,
yes,
right? Essentially, it's
yes,
for a degree level, but it's, but I would say like this is how it should be done.
yes.
How long it took you to do all of these things?
It took me a lot, like 2 months for this
Two
whole
months.
presentation and all the things. But that research topic, I select this because first I thought I should do something like practical to show that I did this extra work, but I'm not finding any tools or anything like how I can prepare this all practically. I have no knowledge.
Son
So
Al Razak,
then I,
that's why we
yes,
are
yes,
discontinuing the interviews in the coming days. Like, by next year, the interviews won't be there. We will be utilizing more hands-on. So if you know how to do it, then you can talk to basically to the employers of how things will be done, right? Rather than
yes,
just talking, you'll be able to know how to implement these things. The diagrams, you created these diagrams yourself?
yes, sir.
What kind of tool did you use to create these diagrams?
I use it first. I was trying to develop them on that AI tool, but I forgot his name. That tool which like do you give it a prompt and it gives you that
It's
all
fine.
the
I mean, as long as you have to be smart
faster
enough to get
faster faster EIO or something like that. So
it.
first I was using that, but when it generates the diagram, and I also used other tools as well, which are using basically the same prompt generated diagrams, but they become so confusing that it's very difficult for me to understand. So I custom built it in Eraser.io tool, in which I draw them manually and add all the things manually instead of.
Mention the tool names, right? So that's good. Continue. This is good,
Yes.
Masha.
So this is our platform. Its core capabilities are just like any advanced CTI should do. It unified a collection from diverse sources. Like we are collecting from multiple sources, internal and external sources, and we are also adding explainability in our threat detection so that we have better trust. And all the processes are we are implementing governance so that all the layers, all the processes that we should have control over it. So that's what in our platform is governance is overlaying over all the processes. And then we have threat intel sharing, that basically in every standard CTI platform that is for sharing our information to other organization or to any tech CI, any organization that wants that sticks related format to help them also. Operational impact, uh, if we implement it, we have faster results, faster alerts, and then our SIEM and SOAR capabilities can be utilized more better. And due to this XAI, we're also adding contextual intelligence so that our SOC can make better decisions. and it has a better trust on what is coming, because the context made it like it adds a little bit details of why this is a true positive. So therefore, we are adding this context threat data exchange, like I already described. What I idealize, what I imagine, like this will be there will be a dashboard on which this is one click, and on that one click we can share all the information that we are getting, so that other organization can benefit from it also. Minimum false positive, because of we are doing a lot of deduplication in it, so we make sure that there there uh, there will be a minimum false positive. Better security due to threat relevance checks, because just like I described before, that we are not just collecting any data. We want data to be relevant. So that's why our threat intelligence platform will prioritize only relevance data. This is our layers review, overall review, in which we are intent to deploy this whole model on Kubernetes, because then we will be more scalable, and we will be more resilient towards burst TCTI data, because we will be dealing with a lot of data, and in future we will also enhance our model, so that for scalability it will be a better option. And inside the model, we have basically four layers. One is collection and ingestion. That's main purpose is collecting all the data from diverse sources. Then we have processing and normalization. Basically, it's doing a lot of deduplication. We will see it in our layer by layer review, detailed review. And then we will have enrichment and analysis, in which we will do a lot of enrichment to that deduplicated data, so that it makes more sense. And then in the last layer, basically we are what threat intelligence is all about. That's what in our dissemination prediction layer, in which we are predicting, we are alerting, we are scoring, and we are also sharing the information to uh, to our organization, and also we can optionally share with other organization as well. Governance and observability is basically overlaying all the layers. So that's basically our control and observability, so that we can see what is happening on each layer and what should happen on each layer. And I mentioned integration gateway here, as it's obvious that it will have a gateway, but I mention it so that it can um, just feel a little bit better, because 3 years and 3 years. So basically, it's what the traffic is coming into our model, and what traffic is going out of our model. It will be going through our gateway, and there will be a gateway controls also that we will see in our architecture diagram. This is layer one overview of our whole model. Uh, the Kubernetes diagram will come after that. In this, we are basically seeing the model itself, like how it works. On the left, we are seeing sources, which include internal sources, our SIEM logs, telemetry, honeypots. Okay, and then we have our OSINT data that we will connect our other commercial CTI platforms that are available. We can get information from there also. We have six tech CI providers, ISACs, vendors, partners, like threat intelligence platform, that any available information externally, we are we are collecting it. We are collecting we are collecting, and also we have our social and dark web sources also, that from where we're gonna collect our information, because that's also important. We want to see what platform is using some specific keywords, or what post that we might want and our organization want, and that can help beneficial for them. This hybrid data comes into collection and ingestion layer, in which we have collect and drop ingestion agents that we will talk about in detail in our collection ingestion layer. But basically, hybrid data comes into collection and ingestion layer, then validated sticks drafts, that its main purpose is that comes out from it, and it goes to processing and normalization layer, in which, as I described earlier, we have normalization agents. We have different kind of uh, tools there that make sure that our data is deduplicated, and then our normalized or curated CTI objects, or you can call it IOC, indicator of compromises, they will come into enrichment analysis layer, in which we will add context to it. And here we are implementing XAI that's gonna explain more what these IOCs can mean. And then this enriched context goes to our fourth layer, dissemination and prediction layer, in which again we are using some AI models and AI tools, and then it's gonna distribute its alert score threat intel to our integration layer, where we have threat intelligence dashboard, partner ISACs, and our SIEM, and so basically this integration layer should be our whole dashboard, like our whole integration should happen from our analyst dashboard. From here we gonna see all the alerts, and from here we want to share information also. Now one thing very important is the feedbacks, these blue lines. This is very important. We have three feedbacks. One is towards collection and ingestion layer, in which our threat analyst basically it's gonna tune our policies, our source policies, to make our sources more better. Any mistakes there can be corrected, so that whole the data can again process to the cycle again. Then we have towards enrichment and analysis layer, in which we are basically true positive, false positive against, because here we also need that score, so that our vulnerability score or IOC score should be inside should be correct, so that our prediction will be better. And we have our another feedback is going to our loss layer, dissemination and prediction layer, in which basically we are doing it from our SOAR or SIEM, because maybe some threats need uh, attention. So there also we are doing approvals, and based on the priorities. And one feedback is automated feedback is going from our dissemination and prediction layer to enrichment layer. That's basically our metrics drifts or recalibrated score. That should be AI feedback should also be there, so that our model retrain itself automatically instead of human intervention, too much human intervention, because that's the purpose of AI. Also, we also want to utilize that as well. Now, in the very left side, I put a little bracket of SIEM data pre-processing and ISACs Intel exchange. That means that our not our raw data or our any personal identifiable information should come directly into our model. We should put some mechanism on our SIEM data, so that only the information that is valuable, like some telemetry or some logs that are valuable to threat intelligence perspective, that should come into our model, not like our sensitive IPs or other endpoint information. And that's all. I think this is the overview. This is our K8 deployment. In here, basically, we are deploying it on a microservices level. Like every layer should have its own microservice, so that when burst came or when scalability happens, we can scale each layer, and it's these all layers will be stateless. So that when if one service is down, it can be one service is down, it should not impact the other layers, and when it comes back up, it should not have any data that it should store. We have search and indexing. We have our main streaming messaging as Kafka, which is doing. I should start from the left. I think sources and external sources, they are coming like through API gateway. In API gateway, we are putting some controls like Envoy or Nginx, so we can also include Kong here. So these key clock and these are all controls. Make sure that role-based controls and all the controls that should be implemented, and only secure and governance traffic should insert into the our whole model. And then our model will be start, in which our whole ATIP microservices, this is the whole box that is doing, that is representing our micro services application. It's basically using our Apache Kafka Strimzy as our main messaging core that's gonna deal our whole data, and it's using search and indexing, knowledge and storage, and monitoring and observability. We are using different specific tools in there like OpenSearch, Elasticsearch for uh, for quick searching, and for persistent and cold storage we are using uh, MiniIO and S3 or Neo4j, and Milvus QDurant is for vector options, like if some data needs to be further represented as vectors, then this will go there, but that's optional. And we are observing all this through Grafana, Prometheus, and OpenTelemetry. Now we'll see our collection and ingestion layer, or first layer. This layer is responsible for automatically gathering data from various sources, as we described earlier. It corrects data from internal and external sources. It standardizes it on arrival into Stix 2.0. Like this is the standard format that we use in threat intelligence. And then we are also adding TLP and provenance to it. TLP will be minimum in there, but provenance is the most important thing that will be implemented here, because we want to know what data is coming and from where it's coming. So provenance will be there, and then we'll check and validate data authenticity and secure policies before processing it further, because basically governance is doing a lot of role here with OPA and other controls. And then we will apply schema and policy checks and diverts failure to dead letter lane, that is our dead letter topic in Kafka. Then we stream accepted events with reliable flow for high volume. This is our layer one. In here, as
You
I
only
already.
have you only have 5 minutes remaining. You
Oh,
started at 10:50. I took some time, 2, 3 minutes. So I give you extra five.
okay, I
And
can cover it.
yes, I
Basically, the
mean,
main.
you have to wrap it up because you
I,
are far off and the slides are too many. You have submitted 35 slides, right?
it's,
Quickly, please, if you can wrap this up.
so basically, in our collection and ingestion layer, we're using our Kafka, and our messaging control, and it's using Stream Broker quotas back pressure. It's basically dealing with all the data, it ingesting it, and it makes sure that it deals with burst of data, and then it goes to the validation gate. It goes to the strict drafting where all the drafting will happen, and then it goes to the validation gate where we are going to apply. We're going to check that either uh, this data is exactly the 6.2.1 drafts or not, or any error will go to the dead letter topic, and then all the all the data is going to consume to Kafka topic, and it goes to processing and normalization layer. Governance is gonna impact transport security, like it's gonna make sure that encryption is happened, and policy information through OPA gateway. Basically, governance is all like OPA policies through Rego and all the other things that we should do that we should do in any CTI platform. Layer one basically in taking all the raw data, and then it's basically outputting our traceable validated sticks. Processing and normalization layer, basically it's validating all the input that comes from collection layer, and it's deduplicating all the data. Basically, first of all, in first component, it's gonna check contract and spec checks. It's gonna apply light sticks and versions, and it's preserve timestamps so that we can have better track of that. Then it's gonna need deduplication and normalization. Basically, it's using SHA-25 for mini hash tools, and then it goes into entity and relation extraction where we are doing attack mapping, but keyword map, not actual attack mapping. And then we have persistent indexing. All that data is going to our Elasticsearch or OpenSearch for better tracking, or any graph data will go to Neo4j. Similarly, we are applying governance on all the components and making sure that every data which is deduplicated should follow our governance controls. What it does, it's intake from a clean data from threat intelligence from layer one in six objects, and then output it as with three output the data with unique IDs and TLP markings, and with also link and relation that we will go to in aggregation and indexing. Enrichment layer is adding context to it. We are using explainable AI in it, and we are using different tools like Spacey, etc. That's gonna be utilized for adding context and explanation to it. All the feature and risk scoring comes. It's using enrichment and orchestrator, like we are doing virus total, who is PDNs, UIP, basically external information, but whatever we received, whatever IOCs we have to see that what's going outside of it, like any existing threats, related to that are there or not. Then we will feature and risk scoring, shop explanation here. We will be really adding XAI gate, and that's gonna pass, and then we'll go to graph correlated and compliances, and optionally we also add vector indexes. And attack mapper is basically used here for the real actual attack mapping is happened here, where we are using tram keyword rules and TTP tags, so that everything is mapped to attack and attack tags. And then we will MITRE attack, and then we will obviously persist and index it to our open search and open telemetry. Our layer 3 is also governed by layer 3 rules. It makes sure that all the external APIs that it has, it should also be governed. There will be rollback or RBAC controls should be there. All the feature scoring, attack mapping, embedding, aggregating, persistent indexing should be under the governance controls. The outcome of from L2 to from the outcome of L3 is curated intel. We have scored and we have action ready sticks dropped. In dissemination and prediction layer, we are basically curated intake is taken. Then we have telemetry, context, joiner, detection, engine, and disease suppression. We can include it into one, and we can say that basically we are checking all the curated intelligence. Is it relevant or not? Is it explainable or not? And then we decide based on that, and then it goes to alert an incident assembler, in which if threats are very uh, critical, then SOAR will be auto trigger. If not, then it goes to persistent indexing. That's again from SIEM. If it's important, then SOAR can be integrated. If not, then it will be stored there. And we have feedbacks from SOAR also to our case management also, in which we have ticket system, and then we are also sharing information to ISACs and ISOs. Governance is also applied on this layer as well, and our output will be actionable CTI outcomes, and this data goes to ISACs and also SIEM to our own organization as well. This is our summary that we collected the data. We have scalable deployment on Kubernetes, and we have make sure that we have quality data, and our end-to-end governance is there, and our sharing is our sharing is also happening here. This is the technology stack that we use for reference. I added there, but I think we cover it in our architecture diagram as well. So these are the limitations that is always there. Uneven sources and rate limit cause data gaps. That always will be there, because there will be a lot of data and there will also be gaps. Human intervention will always be not fully reliable, or it's there. their labels will vary based on their personality. Near merge cases and infrastructure reuse can distort campaign graphs. That's also an important challenge. And our XAI methods adds extra load during peak loads, and external quota credits. Schema drift can also affect SLOs and service stability. Future work, we can enforce sticks and JSON schema contexts more, and we can add quick adjudication step so that we can have better score. And we should also integrate a mix of Jara and Sigma rules for better graph learning offline. And we can also add online calibration and policy reminders with human approvals and signed rollback shadow checks at ingest. Thank you for your time. I think I
Okay.
put too much time in the introduction. That's why I
Yes, yes. So you lost some score because it took a long time. And anyway, so let's continue with the exam.
I'm not seeing.
So your presentation, you can stop the presentation, please, the sharing of the screen. We're going to jump into the Q&A. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, so the presentation was okay. I mean, you provided a lot of material, right? This is where, like, we are pushing more people to go and do the labs, right? Because the labs is where, like, you can show the demo, you can show how to install Kafka, OpenCTI, MISP, all these ML attributions and all of those things. This is very important for you because the infrastructure is there. We have provided you all the infrastructure components, right? Okay. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So let's jump into the Q&A. And if you want to reference your presentation, you can do that. Okay. What are the 4 layers? Looking at a presentation, what are the 4 layers of advanced threat intelligence platform? And how do they interact with each other, as mentioned in your presentation? Can you hear me?
So yes.
Please
So
continue.
yes. So we have like main 4 layers, and we can vary depending on our deployment strategy. So we have first
Just give me
collection
the
and
names of the 4 layers. What are the names?
yes,
The
we have
first,
first collection and ingestion layer in
okay.
which we collect all the data. Then we have processing and denormalization layer.
Okay.
Then we will have enrichment and analysis layer, and then we will have dissemination and prediction layer.
Okay, that's
In
all I wanted to know. And how do they interact with each other? Like, what is the methodology of interaction? Do they function randomly, sequentially? How do they function?
no, like they are basically deployed as a microservice level, like they are deployed on Kubernetes, and each layer has a specific function. So
Here my question. You got half of the marks, right? The other half is, do all of these layers, do they work sequentially, one by one, dependent on each other, or do they work randomly?
yes, it based. They are highly like they work simultaneously, but
Yes,
they
that's all
work
I
in
wanted to know.
order.
That's
In
it.
order,
Yes,
yes.
in order. So it's the answer is they work sequentially. Step 1, do all of those things. Step 2, step 1, collection ingestion, gather raw data from OSINT, SIEM, tips, feeds. Step 2, process and normalization, validates, uh, deduplicates, standardizes thread data into canonical sticks, format. Step 3, enrichment analysis and dissemination, and then step 4, decimal prediction. Actually, we have implemented this thing. We are in the process of implementing. Not implemented, we're in the process of implementing. The guy who was supposed to do this thing, he didn't do it, right? So now I've taken over the projects and I'm doing it myself now, right? Making sure like these things are done properly. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you all of these questions, because this is my wheelhouse. This is where I work in, right? Okay, why is the governance overlay critical in the ATIP architecture? Why is it important? The Advanced Threat Intelligence Platform.
So governance is basically very important in all the layers. So because we want, as I described in the presentation also, that we want sources that should be legal. Like in some scenarios, like in dark web or other scenarios, we want to have some controls over what data is coming. Is it legal or not? And also, we also want to make sure that from where that data is coming from, and it should not have any personal identifiable information attached to it. Like if it's coming from social platform, it should have some legal biasness to it, so that someone cannot criticize us like we are just collecting everything. So it should be governed.
So the answer you have to provide. You got some points for it, right? The answer you have to say like this. My question was, why is the governance overlay critical in the ATIP architecture, right? So something that we have done ourselves on our side. You have to say like this: it ensures data trustworthiness, compliance, and policy enforcement at every layer by applying authentication, audit logging, schema validation managed by data ops, PII, personally identifiable information protection. It also ensures transparency in explainable AI, scoring, and version control for risk decisions. What we have done, we are about to launch a Nafi affiliate program, right? What's this going to do is like it is using OSINT. So OSINT is being used to collect data. If you have seen the OSINT framework, have you seen the OSINT framework? I'm going to ask a question regarding OSINT framework. Have you seen that? The
No, I
framework
didn't
is very
see.
important. Now, this is the framework. You may have seen it, right? This is the framework. You know this framework?
Yes, this one I showed it in. It also available in Shudan also.
Yes. This is the framework. If you want to look for any person information online, you have to harness some of the tools. Now with LLM power, you can do anything. Even if you use a 7 billion model, or like I would say, or a 30 billion model running on a normal machine. If you have a 4090, that's very good. You can do, has a lot of CUDA cores. You can design a good system, a very good system. We are teaching our students how to design these things because we have designed it ourselves, right? Ours is advanced because it is running on the DJX Spark hardware, right? So the hardware that we have, we're using this hardware, which is essentially the Blackwell architecture, right? But we started with 4090 and some of the AMD systems in the GPUs, right? So if you can see username, email address, domain name, IP and MAC address, you can search any person, online by using these things, right? Like, for example, geolocation, Google Maps, Bing Maps, all of these things, right? And plus, how to make sure that we are able to get that information. I'm not going to show you my own systems here because they are different. It's intellectually, private information. But I'm just telling you that when you are going for the interviews for a cybersecurity position or AI cyber engineer or something like that, if you can show them that you can design this solution by utilizing all the open source components, it's done for you. This is how you secure the job, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's go in and dig in deeper. Looking at your presentation. Okay. So define how the ATIP platform differentiates between false positive and true positives. And I would say false negative, right? So how does it do all of these things?
Like in our platform, we have a lot of feedback loops there. So you can say like in layer 3, each indicator is will be cross verified. And when we are talking about so feedbacks are important. Can I refer to my presentation?
Yes, you can. This is an open book exam. You can refer to it. Again, listen to my question. Define to me how the ATIP platform differentiates between false positive and false negative. How does it do it? That's all I would like to know.
So basically, we are having 3 feedbacks. So one is towards enrichment and analysis. That's gonna see what comes from layer 2 to layer 3. And in layer 3, we have IOCs. Now we have to see that this is true positive or false positive. It's gonna detect it based on XAI, explainable AI like SPACY. It's gonna add explanation to it, like what this threat is and what it's coming from and why it should be true positive or true negative. Okay, and then we
No,
can
the
make
answer
sure.
is pretty simple. You just have to mention the three steps. You say, the question is how define how the ATIP differentiates between false positive and false negative. So you will say through duplication, provenance tracking, and human in the loop, the HITL calibration, ATIP filters out duplicates and inconsistent signals. The semantic quarantine system, which works, holds ambiguous data for review. And the explainable AI based scoring explains the reasoning behind classification, reducing false positives. That's all.
Contextual enrichment, you can say.
Sorry, come again?
Contextual enrichment, you can say
Yes.
it.
I mean, yes, that's the thing, right? So you have to contextualize the data to see and classify it based on the context itself, right? I mean, is it false positive, false negative? Because there is always a pattern. These we are using XAI in our systems. We are using multiple things in our systems. The teams are now working on some cutting edge things, but the same solution that we have for marketing, with a different context, it is being used for cybersecurity. With a different context, it is being used for DevOps. With a different context, it is being used for. It's the same solution. See, it's the same solution. The same solution can be used for all the different contexts, right? So you have, like, for example, as a Muslim, I can give you an example. You have the Quran and the Sunnah. It's the same solution. Whether whatever part of the world you are in, it will tell you how to live your life according to the Quran and Sunnah. So even if you go to Mirrikh, like on Mars, or wherever you want to go, you still follow the same book. See? The context. The context. The context might change, but you know, you're on a different location, but the rules apply in the same way. Right? This is very important. Okay, let's jump in. What is the operational purpose of the sticks and the taxi in ATIP? These are the easier questions. After these 2 questions, we'll jump into the tougher ones.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
operational wise, we need them because other organization, other ISACs departments may also want this sharing can be beneficial for them. And basically sticks is the defined format, so everyone in the threat intelligence industry can know what threat is because of its patterns and its standardized readable way. And Also, we will have a transparent mechanism, like it's how we securely share those information, or you can say it sticks objects to to between our system also and to our partners also. So operational wise, for SOC team, it's also beneficial that they have this standard information, so they can easily detect what threat is and what it's all about.
Okay. All right. So how does ATIP use explainable AI, XAI, in threat scoring? That's an easy one.
Through SPACY, like
I mean, how does it do it? You know,
like it makes sure that every threat that is coming should be scored well. So uh, like it based on how much it happens. It's like it's, you can call it a frequency,
so
and
no,
its
no.
reliability.
Okay, you just have to mention this, right? Explainable AI, XAI, provides transparency by attaching interpretable reason for each score, right? If a score lacks explanation, that's how explainable AI works, right? The XAI gate rejects the prediction. No
No, that
explanation, no
that
release.
is on based of our own score parameters. Like we define this kind of score that if this is greater than this, then it
But
should accept.
even for the score, you need what? You need some kind of explanation, right? If there is no explanation, like then if you can't interpret, then it will just say no explanation, no release. I can't allow you to go further. This is how explainable AI works. You have to explain each and every line item. Once you do that, then it looks for all of those patterns and makes a decision. The the same way, the SHAP values and model value versioning makes results reproducible and auditable, right? That's how it does, right? Because once it sees that these are all the items coming in the ATIP, Advanced Threat Intelligence platform, right? If it has an explanation, what are these? To give you an example, I kept on explaining this to my sysops team, but they failed miserably, right? So I have to jump in myself. We collect all the data of different systems into one, ETL application, right? Airbyte. Everything comes there. The second thing I told them, collect all the data. Now start classifying the data. Is it a web application logs, web server logs, database server logs, database logs, cloud logs, network logs, VPC logs, all kinds of logs. Classifying them. What is this? What is this? What is this? Right? Then start putting explanation, like, because there's a lot of noise, because you have to filter the noise, right? Because if it sees something and it doesn't have any explanation, it will just disregard it, right? So you need to provide some context. Once it has the context, then it can make sense. Otherwise, it won't make sense. So that's how explainable AI works as well. Like, because explainable AI always provides transparency by attaching interpretable reason for each score. Like, if something lacks explanation, the XEI gate, there's a stage gate process, gate rejects the prediction. No explanation, no release. I can't allow it, right?
So, sir, can metrics like frequency, how often it happens, source reliability, and techniques that influence it, that's also not part of explanation, or they are part of
Everything is part of
scoring?
it, but you have to provide, what are the, so for in your context, what are the log types? Which application is it? Because what it does is it tries to build up a persona of the application, right? So this is our peak time, November, December, right? This is our peak time. Customers are coming online from all over the world, right? and we want to expand. Alhamdulillah, it's a $125 million company. We're going towards $1 billion, and the goal is to become a $5 billion company, inshallah, in 2 years' time. That's what we are targeting, inshallah. So I can tell you, if anything lands on the website, what happens on the web server, what happens on the app server, what happens on the database server, what happens on the web application firewall, at that moment in time, when a user lands on the website, it starts to do something. So we build up a context of that user. We caught one user cheating, right? What he did was he completed 80 hours of videos in one day. Can you do that? You can't. So these are the application controls we have built in. So the applications AI was able to detect, 80 hours, 24 hours. It's not possible. I mean, if you have a time machine, I guess you can go back in time and watch everything and come back, right? But that doesn't exist, right?
Yeah,
So you
that's why
can't
we
do
are
it.
receiving now daily reports. It's
This is the
been month
reason.
and a half.
So
Yeah.
there is an explainable AI working, which is looking at the persona. So as soon as a person logs in, your persona has been building and is going into the database, Al-Basir. Al-Basir is like the project name is Al-Basir, the solution name is Basir. Al-Basir, the name of Allah, that's the inspiration. He sees everything. Nothing can hide, right? Nothing can hide from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't hide anything. What's in your heart? What's on your tongue? What are you thinking? Allah sees everything. Alas, right? So I wanted the applications to know, the AI to know what is happening. That is why you're getting daily reports. Once you do the lab, you can't do the lab again. There are more features coming in. If you do the labs consistently, you will see challenge labs that will give you more score, but they will only be allowed for 24 hours, and after that they will disappear, right? So the AI is looking at your context and is trying to, and we have added the explanation. If this meets, consider it, score it. And that's what it is doing. Do you understand? This is very
Yes.
important. All right, so now we jump into the hard questions. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the presentation diagram, why is Kubernetes chosen as the deployment framework for ATIP? Why? I call it the challenge one, but it's easier, actually. Go ahead.
Yes, it's because of the scalability, resilience, and we are going to have a lot of data that we will be dealing with from OSINT, from internal, external sources. There will be
Got the
a
score.
lot of data. We have auto scale. We can isolate. We can enforce governance more easily, and we can also automate
The moment you said that for scaling, reliability, resilience, all of these things, you got the score. This is how you have to answer, right? Basically, when you're going for the interviews, you have to say, Kubernetes provides microservice orchestration. It's a microservice architecture, right? You do horizontal scaling. You do resilience against burst CTI data. It's pod level isolation supports per tenant governance, dynamic scaling, independent evolution of each ATIP layer, crucial for high throughput thread feeds. Whatever thread feeds we're getting from different partners or open source or whatever, right? That is how you have to answer the question. Khalas, like this is the easier way, right? So pay attention, inshallah. That's very good. How does the okay, let's jump in. Semantic quarantine, right? Describe the function of semantic quarantine. You mentioned that. What does it mean? And when it is triggered?
So semantic quarantine is basically a Kafka. You can also call it Kafka topic. It basically doing semantic checks. Like if any schema drift happen, then the thing will goes in any layer. Like it starts from layer 2 to layer 3, and whatever in first layer we have dead letter topic. That's basically schema drift. That's where any mistakes or any policy violation that goes there. But from layer 2 we have semantic quarantine. It's basically anything For example, if model output fails validation, for example, it has missing any metadata or inconsistent entity types or any unexplained threat scores. Okay, so that will go into semantic quarantine queue. And then from there, it can be reviewed, it can be corrected, and it can be um reprocessed also. For example, if any governance policy is failed and it goes into semantic quarantine, then the analyst can review it, that why it fails, and it
Okay.
can see that if it's good to go, then
So this is how
it
you.
can.
I mean, it's a good answer, but it would have been an excellent answer if you would have said semantic quarantine isolates data that is ambiguous, conflicting, or non-verifiable. For instance, if two feeds contradict an IOC classification, indicator of compromise, right? The data is held for human review under SLA. Like we have to review and see there are two things we're getting. This ensures decision transparency without disrupting the main data flow, right? This is very important because we are getting a lot of data, right, in our own systems. And
And I
I've
think
told
this is
them
the most challenging part, how to store it and how to, this is.
human will always be there. Human will lead the evolution of AI. Don't ever
Yeah.
think that the AI will go at that stage that everything will be automatically managed. That's not happening right now. It might happen 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Not right now, right? The AI needs to be smart enough to think like a human being. Right now, it is memorizing information. It is uh, finding out patterns and stuff like that. But the moment it starts to expand its knowledge base and be able to make judgment and decisions, then it is called a super AGI or whatever you want to call it, right? Can we reach at that stage? As a Muslim, you know, can anyone create a human being?
Not
No,
possible.
right?
Not even
What makes us different from other creation of Allah? It's the ruh, ar-ruh, right? So that's our soul. You cannot give, you cannot put a soul in a machine, right? So we will always be able to use AI, but it's an extension of us, of how we use it, right? It will not, but it will replace people who don't know how to harness that extension. So that doesn't mean you become very well efficient in using chat gpt. That is just conversation. How to implement AI is where AI ops comes in, and this is what you're learning. So once you know how to learn all these things, then you will be able to implement. Just learning chat gpt will not give you anything. It will make OpenAI a very rich company because they will take a lot of money from you, and they will, if you don't pay, then they will learn a lot about you through your data, and they'll be able to push other, sell your data. So that's how they make money, right? But if you know how to harness the power of AI by understanding all these different business processes and our razak, which we are covering, then you will know how to become relevant in today's world. That's how you have to harness it, right? Inshallah. Okay, so in the in a SOC integration scenario, right? There's a scenario, SOC integration. How do SIEM and SOAR system consume ATIP outputs? How do they do it?
So, like we are integrating our SIEM as a source also. So
Just give me
the data
example of
also.
how does SIEM and SOAR consume or ingest data? What happens? Just explain to me that.
Now, how they connected? They are connected.
How do they consume ATIP outputs? What happens? How does SIEM consumes ATIP, Advanced Threat Intelligence Platform outputs? What is it learning?
It's learning basically what, like we are authenticating, we are getting IOCs. So what means to SIEM, like a regular SIEM? we have logs, we have simple logs, but when we implement ATIP, then we have an enriched IOC, and also we have a real-time correlation. And in layer 4, we are also integrated a short telemetry
How does
window in
SEAM,
which REST APIs and
what does SEAM gets from ATIP? What does SEAM gets from ATIP? In what
it
format? What
gets
is the output?
alert, it gets alerts, scores, logs, better explanation of all the
That's
of
all you have to say. The SEAM. My question was, in a SOC integration scenario, how do SEAM and SOAR system consume ATIP outputs or data? So you say SEAM, in the case of SEAM, Security Information Event Monitoring, it ingests curated CTI packages via sticks or taxi and correlates alert with telemetry data, right? Telemetry logs. That's it. That was the question. That was the answer. What does SOAR does?
SOAR is basically it's
What is SOAR getting from ATIP and how is it ingesting? What is it doing with that data?
so when our alert score, when we decide that our this score should get a priority on base of our rules and our other policies as well, when that score is, we can call it, if it's critical, then SOAR playbooks triggered automatically so that they can react accordingly. And in our CMS SOAR, they basically integrate with each other. And SEAM is SOAR is basically getting logs from there from SEAM, and wherever there is an action that we have to perform, that what SOAR functionality is, then it performs that. So SEAM is basically for collecting logs, and SOAR is basically, you can call it an action.
So SOAR uses the same package to automate remediation workflows like IP blocking or case closure. I mean, they both consume priority tagged TLP marked incidents, right? To ensure
Yes, that's
proper
what
action
we,
level.
yeah, that if it's like we implemented in our if you can see in our layer 4,
Mhm. I've seen
if
that.
TLP, yeah, if TLP marking is like based on it has different rankings like red, amber, and white. So if based on that, if that score is greater, then SOAR gets the priority, and its playbook gets
Okay,
triggered.
this is the last question. A multinational bank integrates ATIP with its SIEM and detects a high volume of low confidence alerts. The team, they say they blame the model bias. They say there's something wrong with the model. You know, we should diagnose the cause and propose a solution, right? So, what solution would you propose? What would you do?
Like they're seeing a lot of false false
They are
positives.
detecting a high volume of low confidence alerts. What would you do?
So first of all, we have to check whether there is any you can what you can a model drift, like if the model whatever its function is AI and MI, is it get malfunction, or what if there is any problem in the AI or in the retraining. So we can see all those models as well. We can also see the rules. We can also see human behaviors, like as we are also using version in every layer. So we can see that what which human label, or for example, if human put a tag in, for example, if human tagged something false positive, so we should see why he put that false positive, and how many times he does that, is there fault of that behavior. And if the similar threat is getting false positive from multiple humans, then we can also see that behavioral change also. And from there we can see that if it's human fault or not. And the other things are, we are also seeing AI explainable AI metrics and like the model drift that I say earlier.
Okay, the exam is over. I'm just going to wrap this up.
Sorry, I was hoping to get more score in presentation because that's what I was assuming that I will get more score in there, but I guess I
Sorry,
didn't. It's my
sorry, get what?
mismanagement.
You were saying what? Sorry, what were you thinking?
I'm saying sorry because of the presentation. I was hoping that from presentation I will get the maximum score because I put a
No, the
lot of effort
exam,
there, but because
this
of my
is mentioned,
mismanagement.
this is mentioned many times. The exam is 25, 25, right? Part 2 exam is 25, 25. 25 is for presentation, 25 is for Q&A. In the new format, is MCQ is 50%, and then 50% are labs. So when you do the labs, you have to do all those labs properly, right? So and then there are also assignments in there as well and stuff like that, right? But yes, I mean, that was not the case. I mean, this is something which is mentioned and already provided to you.
Yes, I know that. That's what I'm saying. It's my time management, like poor time management. I shouldn't just put too much time on in the introduction.
Okay. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So you completed the exam. The presentation, you secured 17.5 out of 25. You took a long time to go through the presentation. You lost some scores over there, you know, and you did provide a lot of data, which I like because you provided the flow analogy. There was PDF files for threat intelligence presentation. There was a research paper which was completely not warranted, but you provided it, completely theoretical, right? And was created by using AI significantly, right?
Yes,
Uh,
but I like reevaluated multiple times,
yes, I
like
understand.
in
But
every
like,
paragraph.
yes, I understand. But you know, in our case, like it was, that's not warranted, but it was given, which is good. Something that we will implement when we start our degree programs, inshallah, right? But my goal is not to make you guys paper tigers, like in terms of you can write good research papers. That's not the case. The goal is to give you guys hands-on skills so that you can develop solutions, right? If you can develop this solution, even you're in Pakistan right now, for example, if you can develop this solution for Pakistani companies, you can do a lot, right? If you develop the same solution for GCC countries, you can do a lot. If you develop these solutions in the West, companies are trying to develop these solutions internally because externally things are getting more and more expensive, right? So everyone is going towards all of those models. So you can do a lot, inshallah. The good thing is you provided lots of diagrams, which is something I like. I would like to know how did you created these diagrams, right? It covers all the aspects, which is good. So overall, your paper was good. In the Q&A, you secured 18.5 out of 25, which is 74%. So altogether, 17.5 plus 18.5, your total score comes out to be 72%. So you have passed, right? So that's something that, alhamdulillah, you have achieved. Now, this is my recommendation for you. I'm going to open your folder, right? Because it was a very interesting thing. You provided a lot of data, right? Because we are improving our process and we are expanding it further and further and going deeper and deeper in terms of doing all of those things, right? So if I look at your file. You haven't submitted your resume, right?
No, I submitted with the KYC form in which with the
Okay,
exam.
so it's at the bottom. Okay.
Yes, it says the
So
KYC form in which I write why I joined and
have we
Nafi.
ever talked? कभी हमने बात की आपस में? I
हमने
remember
व्हाट्सएप पे,
something.
जी मैंने पिछले साल आपसे बात की थी यही कि मैं क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ, क्या करना है, मैंने
Are
आपकी
you
सारी
the
बात।
one who told me you work at Beacon House?
यस, यस सर।
Ah, because you I remember there was a person who used to work at Beacon House or still working
जी,
कि मैं काम
आपको
करता हूँ.
याद है बड़ी बार।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह यार, मुझे सब चीजें याद रहती हैं. If I type your email, your phone number, I might be able to see.
जी,
Uh,
031175।
so I'm trying to see. मैं लिख रहा हूँ उसको. मुझे मैसेज भेजोगे? Can you send me a message? I can see. मुझे नजर आ गया था. हाँ, बहुत पहले बात हुई थी.
बहुत पहले भी हुई थी, अभी रिसेंटली भी हुई थी, आपने उसका जवाब नहीं दिया तो मैंने
जुलाई
कहा
11 जुलाई 2024 को.
नहीं नहीं, अभी पीछे भी हुई है बात आपसे।
नहीं, वहां से शुरू हुई थी.
हाँ जी, वहां से शुरू हुई थी।
M फैसल जिया,
हाँ जी,
है ना, लाहौर. That's how I saved your number. Okay.
आप इधर लाहौर में इवेंट हुआ था ना, तो वहां भी आपसे बात हुई थी।
ठीक है. गुड, माशाल्लाह, गुड. So what do you want to do now? अब क्या करना चाहते हो?
सर मैंने तो बेसिकली मैं लाइव के बाद हम बात कर सकते हैं कुछ 5-10 मिनट।
ओके, मैं तुम्हें रिकमेंडेशन दे देता हूँ, ठीक है ना. आई
जी,
मीन देन यू कैन. मेरे पास टाइम नहीं होता कि मैं किसी से बात करूं. बहुत सारे लोग बात करना चाहते हैं बट आई डोंट हैव द टाइम. आई कैन गिव यू द रिकमेंडेशन इंशाल्लाह. ओके, बट आई कैन सी दैट you came to me back in 2024, right?
जी,
Sometime in June, and now we are standing in November, right?
जी,
So तुमने इसके परसू किया, सब कुछ किया, ठीक है ना, माशाल्लाह. You came to me, see me in Lahore as well. It is mentioned here, right?
जी,
Right? Okay. But I remember someone I met who used to work or was working at Beacon House, right?
पर्सनली आप नहीं मिले।
Yes, right? Are you still there or not?
हाँ जी, मैं इधर ही हूँ, आपको बताया था ना मैं आईटी सपोर्ट की जॉब कर रहा था। तो उसके बाद ये वो मैंने केवाईसी में लिखा है कि मैंने आगे क्या क्या किया, और इधर मेरा साइबर सिक्योरिटी में भी साथ अब मुझे वो
Okay.
जॉब वगैरह आ गई है, लेकिन साथ साथ वो भी कर रहा हूँ बट
Okay, so this is what you should do. तुम्हें US जाना है? Is that where you want to go?
यस सर।
Okay. This is my recommendation. US में तुम्हारा admission तो हो जाएगा. We are about to open our college in London, in Canada as well, at 2 locations, Toronto and Scarborough, right? In here. बट वो यहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है. उसका हमने इमिग्रेशन वालों से अभी लेटर वगैरह नहीं निकलवाया. वो उसको निकालने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा, बट वो यहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए शुरू हो रहा है, राइट? वो सारे लेवल 3 से लेकर लेवल 6 तक बच्चे उसमें आके पढ़ेंगे. आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू राइट नाउ, इट विल स्टार्ट इन फ्यू मंथ्स टाइम, ठीक है. नाफ इंटरनेशनल कॉलेज, द लोकेशंस आर प्रीटी बिग, बड़ी बड़ी लोकेशंस हैं, जिसमें तकरीबन 2-2.5 हज़ार बंदा आके बैठ के पढ़ सकता है. This is my recommendation for you if you want what you want to do. If you want to go to US, you can, but US is a tough place, right? Or US में जो अभी the things which are going in US is very difficult, right? When they will change, how they will change, we don't know. We do know this, that the present administration is making things more difficult. But you have good opportunities in Canada. You have good opportunities in UK. You have good opportunities towards Europe. अगर नॉर्थ अमेरिका में आना है, कनाडा इज अ गुड प्लेस, ठीक है. मास्टर्स का एडमिशन लेकर आ सकते हो यहाँ पर. यू कैन कम, बट बिफोर यू कम, कंप्लीट अ रज़ाक प्रोग्राम, कंप्लीट क्यूबरनेटिस, ठीक है ना. तुम यहाँ लैंड करते ही तुम्हारी जॉब हो जाएगी. यू विल बी एबल टू सिक्योर अ पोजीशन इंशाल्लाह, राइट. दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन डू. व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू? क्या करना है?
सर मेरा भी बेसिकली इधर ही यूएसए जाने का इरादा था, लेकिन मैं ये चाह रहा था कि क्योंकि मैं खुद ही हूँ जो मतलब सारी फैमिली की करनी है, सब कुछ मेरे ऊपर ही है। तो मेरा एम तो ये था कि मैं स्कॉलरशिप ले लूँ ताकि मेरा जो वो वाला खर्चा है जो एजुकेशन का, क्योंकि साफ ज़ाहिर है आप स्टूडेंट वीज़े पे ही आप जाएंगे, तो
हम्म।
वो वाला कोई थोड़ा सा मेरा हो सकता। और दूसरा मेरा ये था कि मैं कोई जॉब वगैरह, जैसे आप कह रहे हैं रजाक वगैरह आप कर लो, तो जॉब वगैरह जो होगी वो
देखो
आपकी
अगर
होगी।
तुम्हें देखो अगर तुम्हें
अगर
जब भी
मैं
जॉब,
मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि मेरी कोई बहुत हाई फाई जॉब हो जाए या बहुत हाई लेवल पे आ जाऊं, बट इतना हो जाए कि वो जो वहाँ के डेली एक्सपेंसेस हैं ये जो हैं वो हो। और
देखो
तीसरी मेन चीज
when
थी
you
वो
come to
थी।
Canada ना, when you come to Canada, you have to complete the course before they give you the full work permit to apply for jobs and work here, right? So आते ही you can do odd jobs, you can't do full-time jobs. That's one thing, right? Yes, we are opening our locations and we will give preference to our students who are coming here to work with us, right? And potentially we can also offer them work permits and stuff like that, right? That is also on the table. That will take time to mature, etc., etc. Something that will take time, but that is there. Second thing is, जब तुम आओगे, you know this, that you will be required to work. You can't work full time. तुम part time काम कर सकते हो और तुम्हें अपना खर्चा वर्चा सब निकालना पड़ेगा. If you complete Kubernetes, ठीक है ना, and become golden Kubernetes as well, and QB astronaut and golden QB astronaut, and complete the Razak program, complete all the Linux, जितनी सारी Linux की labs देखी है ना, you've seen all the labs, right?
जी
सब
पार्ट वन
चीजें
सारा
देखी.
वो कर लूँ।
हाँ, अभी DevSecOps की चीजें आ रही हैं, सब कुछ आ, तुम you completed all the Linux labs?
जी पार्ट वन की, पार्ट टू की अभी काफी सारी।
Part one तो it's very easy. Part
हाँ
two,
जी, वो असल में रिपीटेड थोड़ा हो गया कि वो हम लोकल पे करते रहे फिर उधर
हाँ,
दोबारा कर लिया।
part two is the main, is the main thing, right? So if you
जी
do that, then it's then तुम्हें किसी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. You will be able to make your own way here easily, inshallah, right? So वो तुम कर सकोगे. That is my recommendation. If you want the quick job right now, head towards Middle East. Head towards Middle East right now. और रजा कंप्लीट करो. तुमने मेरी बात सुनी ना, सब कुछ करते हुए आए. यू कंप्लीटेड
जी
ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स, ठीक है ना. सो और रजा कंप्लीट करो, एग्जाम निकालो, ठीक है ना, जो क्यूबरनेटीज के हैं सबके हैं. यू विल बी एबल टू गो. अभी भी अगर तुम अपना रेज्यूमे अपडेट करो, सब कुछ करो, यू कैन गेट आउट ऑफ दिस प्लेस वेर यू वर्किंग राइट नाउ एंड वर्क इन अ बेटर प्लेस इंशाल्लाह, राइट? वो तुम कर सकोगे. यू विल बी एबल टू डू दैट एज वेल इंशाल्लाह. तो तुम वो भी कर सकोगे, बट यू हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ दिस प्लेस फर्स्ट, राइट?
जी बिल्कुल
वो
यही
तुम्हें,
मेरा।
ठीक है ना, तो उससे अगर तुम निकल गए तो यस, देन इंशाल्लाह यू विल बी एबल टू डू ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग्स, ठीक है.
सर
सो
आपने मिडल ईस्ट का बताया, मिडल ईस्ट पे अगर वर्क बंदा उधर जॉब के लिए जाए तो फिर उधर से आगे बंदा जा सकता है
ऑफ
यूरोप
कोर्स
वगैरह?
ज्यादातर लोग ये करते हैं कि यहाँ से मिडिल ईस्ट जाते हैं, जॉब करते हैं, पैसे जमा करते हैं, दे स्टेबलाइज देमसेल्व्स एंड देन दे हेड टुवर्ड्स आउटसाइड. इन योर केस यू हैव टू डू द सेम थिंग. देखो, व्हेन यू डिड द डिग्री बट दैट डिडंट टुक यू फार, राइट? अब तुमने कर लिया, एक्सपीरियंस हासिल कर लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, यू कैन गो. तुम्हारा रेज्यूमे जब अपडेट होगा, इट विल रिफ्लेक्ट अल नाफे क्लाउड एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. अब तुम वहां से आगे जा सकते हो ना. यू कैन गो फर्दर इंशाल्लाह. गो देयर वंस यू सेटल डाउन एवरीथिंग. एक साल काम कर लिया, 29 साल के हो अभी तुम, यूर यंग, राइट? सो सब कुछ कर लिया तुमने, देख लिया, ओके अब मैं यहाँ से जा सकता हूँ. एक साल काम करने से तुम्हारे पास इतने पैसे, यू विल हैव इनफ मनी टू स्पॉन्सर योर सेल्फ एंड गो टूवर्ड्स बेसिकली कैनेडा, ठीक है ना. बाय दैट टाइम थिंग्स माइट चेंज इन यूएस एज वेल, हु नोस, अल्लाह नोस, राइट? हमें नहीं मालूम, अल्लाह नोस बेस्ट, ठीक है ना. उस वक्त तक तुम्हारे वो भी हो सकते हैं, बट यू विल हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी इंशाल्लाह.
सर
मिडल
अगर
ईस्ट में
मैं
तुम्हारे,
यूके या कनाडा आऊँ तो स्कॉलरशिप पे मेरी कोई बन सकती है प्लेस या नहीं?
you have to apply for the scholarship. That is up to the university who is giving you the scholarship. Normally, scholarship, they will give you, they'll say, okay, we will give you 25% discount, 30% discount in the fee, right? You won't get 100%. 100% जो scholarships होती है ना, ये मुख्तलिफ जो स्कॉलरशिप्स आती हैं, जो प्रोग्राम्स आते हैं, they make you work, but then you have to go back. Because the government, the university is paid by the US government or the Canadian government or whatever, then you have to go back. You can't stay there to work. Some of these stipulations are there, so you have to read the stipulations. Ke stipulations kya kehti hain, then make a decision, right? So scholarships hain, but you will get a discount in the fee, right? That's the scholarship. To get the full scholarship, what was your GPA?
मेरा 2.9। मैं
Out of,
इसलिए इधर आया था कि इधर मेरा कोई वो जो ग्रेजुएशन वाला है जो स्कोर वो इधर बेटर हो जाए, ताकि
well,
वो
you
आगे।
secured 72%, right? You secured 72%. I can't change that, right? मैंने अपनी बहन के बच्चे का एग्जाम नहीं लिया। मैंने कहा अगर मेरे सामने बैठेगा मैं उसको फेल कर दूंगा, ठीक है ना? सो मैंने उसका एग्जाम नहीं लिया। मैंने कहा आई कांट टेक हिज एग्जाम, ठीक है? तो मैंने अपने एम्प्लॉय को फेल किया यहाँ पर, बिकॉज वो काम कर रहा था, और उसको मैंने सख्ती से डील किया। कि सख्ती से क्या, बिल्कुल जिस तरह तुम्हें डील किया, इस तरह उसको डील किया। ही वॉज नॉट एबल टू पास द एग्जाम। यू मे हैव सीन इट, तुमने देखा होगा, जो अब्दुल्ला तारिक जो है,
जी जी बिल्कुल।
he used to work here and he is now leaving the company. He secured another job, अच्छी बड़ी सैलरी के ऊपर, ठीक है ना? वो जा रहा है, but he couldn't pass the exam. So it all depends, right? Because the projects he did was not sufficient, properly काम नहीं कर सका, and he selected the topic he was given, unfortunately the topic जो उसके project से related था. So जब मैंने उसको evaluate किया, सब कुछ के सवालात किए, he failed. So he's going to try again, inshallah, right? But who knows, he might secure better. Allah knows best. He might get a position, whatever the case is. It all depends on multiple factors. But I can't give anyone higher marks or any of those things, right? So you have to prepare yourself. उन लोगों की presentation देखो जिनको full marks मिले. What was the differentiating factor, right? How were they communicating? How were they expressing themselves? How were they answering the questions, right? So on and so forth. That will give you a good idea. हमारी कंपनी में एक लड़का काम करता है, मोहम्मद शीस, ओ लेवल करके आया था, कंप्लीट किया AI ऑप्स 6 महीने में, कि कंप्लीट AI ऑप्स। ही वर्क एयर विद अस फॉर 1 ईयर। इंटर पास है ना, मैट्रिक पास है। ओ लेवल क्या होता है? मैट्रिक। ओ लेवल्स करके आया ना, यूके का, ठीक है ना, पाकिस्तान से। ओ लेवल किया, 5 पर्चे निकाले, ए लेवल नहीं दिया, फेल हो गया ए लेवल के पेपर्स में। आई डिडंट नो। एग्जाम दिया, पास कर लिया, बहुत अच्छे नंबर लिए, क्योंकि वाज वेरी स्मार्ट। एंड ही इज गोइंग टू यूके फॉर मास्टर्स। लंदन साउथ बैंक में जा रहा है मास्टर्स करने के लिए। सो एवरी पर्सन इज डिफरेंट, व्हाट यू डू इज डिफरेंट, राइट? सो यू हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी, मगर तुम्हें उसके लिए काम करना पड़ेगा। तुम यहाँ से मिडल ईस्ट चले जाओ, अपने आप को स्टेबलाइज करो, तुम बेहतर जॉब तलाश कर सकते हो, बहुत अच्छी जॉब तलाश कर सकते हो। यू कैन डू दैट। Complete a Razak, we can assist you in getting there. Razak complete करो, we can assist you, inshallah. But as you're doing a Razak, तुम्हें अब confidence आ रहा है ना, अब समझ आ रहा है ना यार, ये तो पूरी दुनिया है।
जी सर।
It's a complete world, right? So that's what you have to do. You will get DevSecOps, you will get all those other labs and everything, lectures and everything that will prepare you better, inshallah. So this is my recommendation for you. ठीक है? Any questions?
सर
So you're the only child in your family?
नहीं सर, हैं सिस्टर्स हैं मेरी।
बाकी सारी सिस्टर्स हैं? अच्छा, भाई एक ही है? Are
जी
you the eldest?
नहीं, मैं छोटा हूँ।
सबसे छोटे हो?
जी एक सिस्टर छोटी, बाकी
अच्छा, तो
सेकंड
कितने
भाई।
बहन भाई हैं टोटल?
हम 6 बहन।
6 बहन भाई, तो तुम्हारा 5वें पे नंबर आता है।
जी जी
अच्छा, बाकी सब बड़ी बड़ी हैं,
जी
मोस्ट प्रोबेबली मैरिड होंगी सब,
जी।
राइट? माशाल्लाह, ठीक है, सही है, ठीक है। जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। आस्क योर पेरेंट्स टू मेक स्पेशल दुआ फॉर मी, ठीक है ना? अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अस्अलुका शहादतैन फिल मस्जिद नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, ठीक है ना? खुसूसी दुआ करना अल्लाह ताला से, अल्लाह ताला तुम्हें कामयाबी अता फरमाए। वर्क हार्ड, इंशाल्लाह यू कैन डू अ लॉट, इंशाल्लाह, ठीक है ना? और रज़ा कंप्लीट करो, गेट द अपडेटेड रेज्यूमे, अप्लाई फॉर द जॉब्स। यहाँ से यहीं पर बैठे बैठे और बेहतर जॉब पे पाकिस्तान के अंदर ही लग जाओ, इससे निकल सकते हो तुम, वट एवर यू वांट टू डू, ठीक है? इफ
जी
आई
ठीक।
हैव फ्यू मिनट्स, इफ यू वांट टू टॉक टू मी, कॉल मी, आई विल आंसर योर कॉल, इंशाल्लाह, ठीक है? चलो,
ओके सर।
जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिका, अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता, अस्तगफिरुका व अतूबु इलैक। Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.